Hello. Okay, so this is mining XP, just to clarify, in case you didn't know. And so this is the best mining XP in theory, right? So this is the highest skill cap, because I was like, oh, I want to try to get some mining XP, because why not? And so I was like, oh, what's the fastest way? And so I thought, oh, commissions, because of skill. And so you need to prepare for all of these things. So the ideal layout, like I have here, is you should know where the precursor city is, right? And so the precursor city, I know where it is. Like that's one way, there's another way, and so that's the automaton solved. And you also need to know where these crystals spawn, right? Where they always spawn, where they are guaranteed to spawn. So like one will spawn there, one will spawn there, some will spawn there. And so if you know where all these crystals are, you can set up, or I said say gemstones. There's, for amethyst, there's the gemstones here, and if you go this way, there's some gemstones here, and they should always spawn in this like in this configuration, so that shouldn't be a problem. There's amethyst, jade gemstones. There's a gemstone here. There's a gemstone here. There's some gemstones here, and so for treasurite members, right? Because I find that it's very hard to find treasurite member spawns. And so what I did, this also helps with finding jade, is I made this long corridor, right? And you're with bob bombs, and we're like, why the hell would you do that? And so, well, they spawn here. They spawn here. So if you just warp around, it's a lot quicker than trying to find an actual spawn area, because most spawn areas don't spawn this quickly. They don't spawn with just a giant long corridor or something, right? So that's how you solve the will solve most, if not all, the spawning problems for the commissions that require mob kills. But the yogs, however, yogs are special. They don't require. You're gonna want to find Kazakh Doom, because like it's the best way to get yogs, and I tried to make my own, but it's really, the space you would need to make something to spawn yogs unnaturally is giant, because yogs are pretty big mobs, right, compared to other ones. So like there's not that much space where yogs can actually spawn here, right? Like I could actually souls, I could throw more bob bombs, but the space would be huge. And I'd recommend just trying to find, try to find a lobby where your priority for a lobby should be yogs, right? That should be a priority, because that's the hardest thing to find. They're the hardest structure to find for good yog spawns. But if you do, you see, they start spawning. So yeah. Another thing, if you do decide to make a long tunnel, I will note that for some reason you have to wait a bit, and then the mobs will start spawning a lot more frequently. I don't know why. I didn't code this in. I think it's quite interesting though. I think that's it. Yeah, pretty much it. Because there's the mobs and there's gemstones, and Corleone is only for the crystal hunters. So yeah, there's how you do it. Goblins are also like I prefer if you can find this specific structure and bob bomb your way to it, then you should do so, because the amount of goblins that spawn at this structure, it's insane. It's absolutely bonkers. I believe I found one over here. Nope, that's the same structure. Hold on just a second. I believe, yep, see, it's this structure. If you can bob on a straight path, or you can just teleport to this structure, then yes, you will be set. So many goblins spawn here, and it's not like they're like far apart. Like, oh my god, I have so much lag. But yeah, there's goblins here, there's goblins here, there's so many goblins. And so although you can do this with other people, like make it easier to set up your set up what you're going to do and whatnot, I don't recommend it, because the more people that there are, the harder it is gonna be to compensate for everyone. Because like at some point, everyone's gonna be doing something, and it's gonna be hard for the gemstones to regenerate in time. It's gonna be hard to the mobs for regenerate in time. All the mobs, not so much if you have your own corridor, because mobs are based on individual people, not locations. I'm pretty sure. But gemstones will be the biggest problem, because if everyone gets a gemstone commission and because you're working in a party, then like it's gonna be real. It's the gemstones are gonna all be used up, right? So you have to pray that no one gets the you all don't get the same gemstone commission. You don't go for it at the same time. But other than that, if you want to gain pet XP in a very interesting and fun way that is very skillful, then yeah, I recommend this. I thought it was a lot of fun for me because it's a lot more skill. It's not so monotonous. So yeah, there's the best pet XP for mining specifically.